welcome back to Follow the Needle and Thread. My name is Belinda and this is my third episode of FlossTube. Thank you everyone for all the kind comments and the follows and subscribes and so on the channel. It's been really heartwarming to see and I'm truly humbled. So thank you for that. It's been about 10 days since I did a video. My kids have been on school holidays, so that's been a bit challenging. I've still been working most of the time. I've had a couple of days off with them. And then those days off have been playing mum's taxi as I have three teenagers, so, and they all have jobs and friends and all that sort of stuff. So not a lot of stitching got done. But I still wanted to pop in and catch you up on what I'm up to. I've been watching lots of other YouTubers, which has been inspiring me in a good way, as well as potentially making me want to start lots of new projects. And I don't know that that's a good thing, but I'm being very inspired by it all. I haven't got any finally finished offs this week. But I again thought I would bring in some of my old projects to show you. As I said on my first FlossTube, I not only cross stitch, I knit, I crochet, I quilt, I embroider, scrapbooking, you name it, I'm trying to try it. So I've got a couple of my sort of more sewing quilty finishes. So I made these bags a couple of years ago. So they're a bit squished because it's been sitting in a cupboard. But there's one that I use all the time. So this is the one that I use in my sewing room all the time. And it's got a big zip on it. I'll have to see if I can find the pattern to be able to show you what it is, with multiple pockets inside. So each of them can open up to put all your bits and bobs in. So I made 3 of these. My mum has the 3rd one, and they're really handy. The one that I use all the time sits in my sewing room or comes on sewing days with me, and I'll see if I can show you without spilling everything out. So I've got a purple thing, a safety pin fastener, some wool cotton, some paper clips, some pinking shears sitting in there, and then in the pockets I've got one has my scissors and normally my rotary cutter as well. This one has my sewing machine needles, my quick unpick, and little scissors usually in there as well. And then this one has all my marking pens and glue sticks and all that sort of stuff. So I find it really handy for keeping everything organised and all in one space, and then whenever I'm going to sew, I just pick this whole thing up and go to the sewing space with it. So I love that. I also, for my kids' Christmas presents for their teachers one year, I made these pencil rolls. My kids are all in high school now, and it's not really the done thing to make presents for all the teachers, but when they were in primary school it was always a bit of pressure trying to work out what to give them. And I made these pencil rolls for their teachers. I did them a couple of times actually for a few different teachers, and the teachers, I actually sewed their names onto them as well, but they were a roll like this, and on the teachers' ones I sewed their name this way on here. But they undo and then unroll, and on the inside there's all the little spots for the pencils and textures. Let's slot in there. Oh, I've got it upside down, that's why it's not going to work. So the little slots, and I put in a packet of textures that matched in with the colours, so I matched the colours to the packet of textures that I bought them. So they were very cool and they were well received by the teachers. And so I made several of those, again, this is another one. So the fabric that I used on the back was a variegated fabric. So the one that I just showed you and this one are actually from the same piece of fabric, just depending on where you cut it as to what colours you got showing. So that was fun. So I did lots of those. And then for my sons, I did these ones with spaceships on them. Same thing on the inside, make it nice and fun. They have since decided that they don't want to colour in anymore, being 19 and nearly 17. So the pencil rolls have been relegated back to me for memory case keeping purposes. Another one I did, this one, my kids did go to a Christian school, and one of the teachers was having a baby, and so I decided that I would make her this little set. Unfortunately, in true Belinda style, I didn't finish it in time, so by the time, I think the kid is now about 6. So anyway, I finished them now. So I bought this panel, which is a VeggieTales panel, which was for the baby's room. And I also made the cloth book, which was very cute, just from a panel. So you just sewed it together, very cute. So now I'm just got that sitting there waiting for the right person to gift that to when they have a baby. So that's a few older finishes off. As far as what I've been working on, first of all, I've worked on making this cart. So I've had this cart for years. It's just from IKEA, and it's served lots of purposes over the course of its life. But it's always been a little trolley that I can wheel around to wherever I'm working and have all the bits and pieces in it that I need. So I went through a journaling phase, and all my journaling gear was in here, and I went through, I had multiple surgeries on my hip, so at that point in time, this was my trolley that I had beside me wherever I was sitting, because I couldn't carry anything. I had crutches, so I would wheel the cart in front of me with my coffee and my book and whatever else I was dealing with. But right now I have repurposed it into my cross-stitching station. So I have 2 cats, and they love getting into my Stitchy work, especially when I get the threads out and they want to play with it. So it's handy for me to be able to wheel it out when I want to use it, but when I want to put it away and have it safe from the cats, I can do that. So I've loaded it up. The top shelf has a couple of dividers with the tools that I need to stitch. So I've got a little pencil case, the same as my sewing. I have a pencil case that I take with me wherever I'm stitching. So even if I'm going out, so last Thursday that just gone, excuse me, I touched my nose, it's hay fever season and I'm so itchy. I went sewing on Thursday with my mum's sewing group and took my daughter, which was really nice actually. So my mum goes sewing to a community sewing group, and we were going out, and so mum said, well, come sewing with me to start with, and then we'll go out, and we went and saw Beauty and the Beast, which was really nice. But we went to her sewing group first, and so I took my stitching along, and my daughter took her stitching along as well, which was really fun. But I took my stitching and I took this pencil case. This pencil case has in it a pen, an erasable pen, some needles, some stitch marking tools if I need to, like for your chart, a quick unstick to rip out your stitches, which we inevitably do. I've got a needle threader and a little pair of scissors. So that's pretty much what I need for any time that I'm doing any cross stitching. So this pencil case comes with me wherever I'm going. I've got some wax in here for those particularly nasty threads that don't want to thread through fabric easily. A little pot for my my threads cut-offs, some bobbins, and some fishing line for marking my grids on my fabric when I want to do that. So the top shelf is just that handy section. The second shelf has my thread bobbin box, and I've also got some threads that I haven't actually wound onto bobbins yet, so they sit in there. And then the third shelf has all my whips. So as far as that goes, what I've been working on, the first one is the Disney stitching that I've talked about in the past. I've talked about how I don't like the fabric that they provided. I don't like the thread that they provided. There's not enough fabric. I'm really worried about how much room is left down the side. Having said that, I love the pattern and I want to finish it. So I'm persisting at the moment. Somebody in my comments section, and I very much thank you for this, suggested that for stitcheries that they don't leave you enough space down the sides for framing, to just add a piece of fabric to the edges. So I may do that. We'll see how it goes. But this is the pattern. So it was or it still is, a monthly subscription. So where each month they sent you a couple more flosses and the pattern to stitch the section. So for example, this one, you're stitching Thumper, which is down the bottom here. So for that one, I am up to, get this thread out of the way. Nearly finished doing the backlining on back stitching on Thumper, and I've made a little start on Winnie the Pooh. So slowly plugging away at that one. I really enjoy it actually. It's a 11 count aider, and so that it goes together quite quickly. But as I said, like, it's still got to have another border around the edge here. And they haven't left us a lot of room, so I'm really worried about that. As a backup, I had toyed with the idea of doing it on linen with DMC conversion, so I started stitching some of the borders on this. I think I showed it last time. I haven't made any more progress on this, just to see if I'm going to continue with the aider that they provided, or whether I'll switch it over to a linen. I'm still making my mind up. Okay, so next I am working, so I always have a project that I take on the train with me. So years ago I had a cross stitch subscription called Cross Stitch Magic, and with every magazine that they sent you, you got a little kit. And so I've got all these little mini kits, and they're perfect for caking on the train. So I take the train to work. It's about 20 minutes each way. So you don't want anything that's too big and bulky to carry around. I want something that I can quickly whip out, work on my lap in the train, and be able to put it away quickly when my stop's coming up, without any dramas. So these little smalls that they sent in these kits were perfect for that. So I'm slowly plugging my way through them on the train, and the current one that I'm working on is this little teddy bear, and I am this far along. Little needle minder there, but I've done his bow and one arm and starting to work on his other leg. Can't really tell yet what he is, but he will get there. Okay, next I have been working on my block party meow. Dropped a needle there somewhere. Over there. So this is this one, that's hands-on designs. It's called Meow. I've really enjoyed working on this one. So this is one of the ones I've gotten into as I've started working on cross stitch again. And I have finished the side panel. So this is on a Zweigart 28 count ecru cashel, with the called for DMC. So they did actually ask for, I didn't bring the other pattern in. It calls for another floss, a specialty floss, but they gave you the DMC conversions. So I've used the DMC on this and it's looking great. The only thing I've changed is the fish down the bottom. So they were a white, I think 3865, and I felt like the white fish down the bottom just blended into the fabric. So I changed it to this very light brown and I'm much happier. The bubbles across the top have driven me nuts. I hate them. I don't think you can even see them in the camera. They're a very pale white bubble across the top of that pattern. I haven't enjoyed those, and I feel like, as the fish did, that they're just blending into the fabric. I'm leaving them at the moment, but I'll see how we go. I might change them. So now I need to work on, so that's the piece around the side here. Now I need to work on the panel on the top, which hopefully shouldn't take me too long, and then it'll be putting it together and finishing it off. And I am very, very, very tempted to start the other block parties, or at least order the patterns and the little pins and have them ready to go. I haven't ordered the meow pins for these, so with these ones they do make these specialty pins that say meow across the top, and then there's a dog one, there's bees, there's wine, there's all, and they all say a little a word in specialty pins. So I want to order them before they become non-available. So I am tempted to just order them all the ones that I want to do and put it aside for when I want to do them, because I've really loved doing this and I feel like I could have a little display. I've got a bookshelf, wall shelves, floating shelves just to my right here, and I feel like I could have them on display there and they look quite cute. Next, I haven't worked on this one at all. This one is my fairy castle picture, which I was doing for my daughter's bedroom when she was about 8. She's now 15. She doesn't want it anymore. I don't understand why. That's okay. I will continue and finish it, and then I will find somewhere for it. Probably turn it into a cushion or something like that. But I do love it. I think it's gorgeous. I'm just a bit slowed down at the moment because all that's left to do on it is some back stitching and the clouds at the bottom, and they're kind of boring. Stitching white on white fabric is really boring. So I'm really dragging my heels on that one, but I love it, so I need to get on with it and finish it. Next, I won't show you those ones just yet. This one here I've spoken about several times as well. I did make a little bit of progress on it in the last 10 days. I'm not sure that you'll really be able to see it. This one is my Dimensions Gold Collections Buttons and Bears. So this one I am finished with the cross stitching. All I've got to do now is finish off the back stitching. So hold that up so you can see it. So I've done all of the back stitching down this side of the bookshelf, and then I just need to do, so the first half I've done on this side. I just need to finish this side, and I think there's not as much back stitching on this side as there was on this side. I don't really think you'd be able to tell the difference between last time I showed you and now, but I have made a little bit of work on it. And I do love it. This is one I started for my son's nursery when I was pregnant with him. He's 19. We can't rush these things. Okay, next we have my Victorian house. This one is a full coverage piece. It's 300 by 370 stitches, and it's made by Studio Jamung, which was on Etsy. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos or FlossTubes on full coverage pieces, and I'm kind of torn with this one. So I'm torn by the fact that I've been watching all the full coverages, and people will do the row by row, the typewriter method, the royal rows method, the diagonal method, all the different methods, starting from one corner and working their way through. This one I started before I knew anything about those methods, and I started in the center and thought I would just, so I started in this red room, I think it was, no, I tell you a fib, it's in this yellow room. So I started there. So the center was probably at the floor of that room. So I started there and was doing cross-country stitching because that's what I've always done. Anyway, now that I've been watching all these videos, I'm like, oh, I really want to do the other ways, but I feel like it's kind of too late. So I've done a little bit of an adaptation of royal rows with it. I've been continuing to work on it. I also learnt about parking threads in this one and about marking my grid using fishing wire. So I'm learning a lot doing it. The other thing I've learnt about is that I was watching Catkin Stitches, and she was talking about some of these patterns that you get on Etsy and how they may not be the best quality with the best picture images and so on and so forth. And I've started to get a little bit stressed about this pattern because it is an Etsy pattern, and whether I'm going to spend all this time working on this project and find that I'm not happy with the result at the end. I'm going to continue to persist and see, at least with this room, I'm going to stitch up this room as best as I can and see what it looks like. If I get through this room and decide that the image quality is really poor and I'm not loving it, it may become a do not finish. I may just abandon it and, you know, use it as lessons learnt. I've been eyeing off lots of heaven and earth designs, I've been adding lots to my cart as wish lists and deciding what to do, but I really feel like I need to slow down, take a deep breath, work on this one, see how we go. I have also started using markup with this one. So I've put the pattern into markup. It's gone into markup beautifully, and I'm at 1%. So I feel like I've spent hours. I think I've spent about 9 hours on it. It's 111,000 stitches, and I've done 1%. So it's going to take a while if I actually continue with it. But this is where we're up to. So just working on that one room. So as you can see now, I've got this column completely finished, and I've started working on the second column, and I'll slowly keep on working through and decide what I'm going to do. I love the pattern. I love Victorian houses. I love doll houses. Doll houses are gorgeous. I'm very fascinated by them. As a teenager, I went to London, and I think it was at Windsor Palace. They had Queen Mary's dollhouse, and that just absolutely captivated me. It was absolutely fantastic, and I've always wanted to build a doll's house like that. I feel like I've got too many hobbies, and I don't really need another one that's going to take up all of my time and energy. But this is a cross-stitch doll's house that I can perhaps aspire to if I'm happy with the finish of it. Sorry, I feel like I'm rambling a little bit. Right, so that's that one. I feel like I'm getting quite the stack here. The other things that I've got here are a few new starts. So I mentioned in my last video that I was excitedly waiting for my Caterpillar cross-stitch stitch-alongs to arrive. So they have arrived, and I took a video of me unboxing the package because I was so excited. So I may insert that one here. Hi everyone, I'm very excited. My Caterpillar cross-stitch kits have arrived. So I've taken them out of the packet, but I will go open them with you guys. So it came with this cute little note saying thank you for our business. And so I'm a little bit late off the table here, but I have got both the Ghostly Gathering kit and this one I got the ultimate kit. So that gave me the 28 count even weave kit, which has the DMC cottons, instructions, purple permanent fabric, a needle and a pre-sorted thread holder. It had a cute little needle minder and these cute little bat floss drops, which I'm very excited about, and a ring to put them on. And then I missed out on the ultimate kit for the Christmas one, but I got the next one down. I think it's the premium kit. So the ultimate kit came with a bag to keep your project in. So I'm a little bit sad that I missed out on that one, but that's okay. So I got the Christmas kit, which again comes with floss, your fabric, your instructions, and a cute little needle minder. So I'll start with the Ghostly Gathering. So let's open it up and have a look at what's inside. That's cute. It's time to get stitching, pop the kettle on and get comfy. Very cute. Okay, so we have an instruction card. We have our DMC floss sorted onto its cards and a lovely piece of purple 28 count even weave. Very excited to start this one. And then the needle minder. So cute. Little cauldron. Love it. So excited. Excellent. So that's my Halloween one. That is called the Ghostly Gathering. And our Christmas one is Hello Holly. Okay, let's open this one up. Oh, I don't want to wreck the packaging. So cute. And again, it says it's time to get stitching. Pop the kettle on and get comfy. Can't get this one out. It's stuck. Okay, and again, we've got an instruction card. We have our DMC threads pre-sorted onto their colour cards and a nice piece of green this time. Got some fluff on it already. Even weave with a little needle in there as well, which I presume I got my needle in there as well. Not that I need another needle. Yes, there's a needle on the Halloween one as well. And our stitch minder, needle minder I should say. Good things come in small packages, they sure do. And here is our Hello Holly needle minder. So excited. Now I have a problem. Do I start the Christmas one, because that's the current stitch along that's just started, or do I play catch up and start on the Halloween one? Considering it's October 1st, if I stitched my heart out, I might get this one finished for Halloween. I don't know what to do. I think maybe I will start on the Christmas one and do week one, catch up to everybody else, and if I have time then I'll start working on some of the Halloween one as well. So thank you for joining me and I'll see you again soon. Alright, we're back. So it's arrived. I've also made some more project bags using Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch project bag tutorial. I love these. They just make my life so much easier that I can just grab a project and go. And I love the clear front that I can see exactly what I have in the bag and what pattern it is. So the Caterpillar Cross Stitch Ghostly Gatherings was the first one. So it was a mystery stitch along. You didn't know what you were going to get, so that's why the picture is all blurred out there. I haven't really made much of a start with this one because I really wanted to keep up to date with the Christmas one, and then I thought once I finished each week's Christmas pattern, I'll catch up on the Ghostly Gathering one. The other thing that slowed me down on the Ghostly Gathering one is that a lot of people in the group were swapping out some of the threads to glow in the dark threads, and they look really, really cool. So I wanted to get my glow in the dark thread to switch that out, which I got. So I got the E940 DMC glow in the dark thread, and I made only a tiny start on this. It came with a 28 count linen. The DMCs, I've switched out, or I will switch out the glow in the dark. Came with a little needle minder, which I love. So I've only made a tiny start, just one little ghost. And there's my needle minder, which I really love. And it also came with some thread floss drops, which are very cool. So you get an orange one, a white one, purple, black, lime green, and like a cool gold sparkly one. Haven't used them yet, but I will do. So that is Ghostly Gathering in my new pink project bag with hydrangeas on the back. So this fabric was a leftover from a quilt that I made for my auntie. It was a foundation pieced quilt where I was learning foundation piecing, and I really enjoyed it. So I had a bit of fabric left over, and I love the fabric, so I figured I might as well turn it into a project bag. Then we have the Christmas one, and again another new project bag. So using up fabrics that I love, but haven't found a quilt that's right for them to be used in. So this works out really well. So it's got like a stripy insert on it, and then this lovely sort of daisy fabric on the back. So this one is called Hello Holly, and I got the 28 count linen for this one as well. And I've finished the first installment of the stitching and have just started on the second one, and it's been really fun. I'm really enjoying doing this. So it's going to be like a tree, I think, with all the little Christmas features in it. Penguin, and then a snowman, not a snowman, sorry, a polar bear. It's got a Christmas candle, stocking. So the stocking is part of the second part. So that's the only progress I've made so far on week 2. But really enjoying it. I love that there's no back stitching in these patterns. And again, I got the needle minder with that one, which I think is really cute. And it's all stitched with DMC. Both of those caterpillar crotch stitches are stitched on with DMC threads. My next new start is a bit naughty. I bought this a few weeks ago when I went to our local stitchery store, and it sat there, and I had itchy fingers. I had to start it. So I went back again this week to the store and got my fabric for it, and made myself a new project bag. So again, another project bag that I finished, with some butterflies on the inside and some little flowers on the back. Same range of fabric as the one that I just showed you. So same range of fabric as this, and I've also got another one which was very similar. So they were all from the same range of fabric. This one has like a check fabric on the inside. But as I said, I bought a bundle of these fabrics, and I never found the right quilt pattern for them. But I do like them, so I wanted to use them for something. So this project is a Mirabilia. And I think I spoke last time that both my son and I played the violin as children. So when I saw this pattern, it really spoke to me. Haven't made a lot of progress, but I have started it and I'm loving it. So that's my progress so far. Just one of the arches on the right hand side, working down to the little flowers at the bottom. And I bought this thread minder from Shein. My daughter wanted to do a Shein shop, which I'm not a big fan of Shein. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. But I did get her to throw this into her cart for me. So it's a thread organizer. It was only a couple of dollars, and I've put as I start using the DMCs for this pattern, I've been putting a little Dymo label as to what the thread number is, and just putting the piece that I've cut off my bobbin onto here. And that's working okay for me at the moment. I've really struggled with how to store my threads so that I don't end up with 10 skeins of the same thread. So I've always kept my thread on bobbins, which has always worked for me. And I've got a lot of them in there. But as again, on FlossTube, let me say that again, FlossTube, I've been seeing people using the floss drops, and I really like how we can pre-cut them, take one strand off at a time. It's a lot quicker, a lot easier. You don't have all those little dints in the fabric where it's been wound onto the floss drop, onto the bobbin. So as I've been unwinding new packets of thread or new skeins of thread, I've been putting them on floss drops instead now. But I'm finding I've got thread everywhere, and I don't like that. I really like just having one set and pick up my kit and my pack and my pencil case and walk out the door if I'm going somewhere. So I've been sitting down trying to work out what flosses I've got, where they all are. That's been another work in progress at the moment for me. I'm sure that everybody has the same problem, that we all have multiple skeins of the same colour. Anyway, that's me. I like to be organised. And then the only other thing I've got left here to talk about, so I did my haul this week was my stuff for my mirabilia. So I went to this local stitching store. I got the fabric. Sorry, I didn't talk about what fabric I got. I got a 32 count Zweigart in natural, I think it was. I also got all the DMCs that I didn't have, so I got all the Millhouse beads that I require for the project as well. So there's lots of these little Millhouse beads, and I also got the Krynic metallic thread for it. I foolishly didn't realise that the pattern also required another specialty thread, but I think I'll mail order that specialty thread. The other project that I have and I am itchy to start is the Blue Flower Tudor Bee. I have all the threads for it. I have some fabric which I could use. I'm just playing up with the idea of whether I really want to use that fabric. I have a yellow fabric and I have more of a natural fabric. I really like the yellow fabric, but I just don't know if it's right for this project, so I'm still sitting on that at the moment. So that's everything that I've been working on at the moment. Thank you for joining me while I have a little bit of a ramble and get all my thoughts out of my head and out to the world. My goals for this week are to keep working on particularly my Meow block party and my Victorian house cross stitches. I'll probably throw some mirabilia in there as well because I'm really enjoying working on that. And yeah, we'll see how we go. The kids go back to school this week, so hopefully I will be able to, that's the other plan as well, my Hello Holly stitch along, keep up to date with that. So the kids go back to school this week, so I'll have a little bit more time. I will be working, I work 3 days a week, so I'll be at work for a chunk of them. So we'll see how we go the other 2 days, but I've still got my nights and the weekends to make some progress, so fingers crossed we get some work done, but we'll see you again next time. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, thanks for all the likes and the subscribes and the comments. They do help. So I'm constantly stunned at how far my little videos have reached. Yeah, I got nothing. I'm just very stoked at the mentions and things that I've had. So thank you for that. If you would like to like, comment, subscribe, then that would be great. Otherwise, there's no pressure. I don't mind. But I will see you again hopefully next week. Thank you so much. Bye.